Hello, and welcome to Kusino Laboratory, where we conduct only the most dangerous and important scientific experiments.
What are we experimenting on today?
Well, I'm glad you asked. We're going to be experimenting on the room. Joey Mama! My name is Kendall Roy.
My name is Sasquatch Doba Dobea Dobapea Daba, but you can call me Sasquatch. Today we're going to be dissecting multiple primary and secondary sources to figure out
The history and creation of the room.
and its cultural influences.
This is so we can better understand film, and hopefully not repeat the same mistakes.
Every great, good, and disaster story has a beginning. So let's get to discovering the room's beginning.
The Room is a movie released on June 27th, 2003, to reviews that can only be described as, bad. But how does a movie so garbage even happen? Well, this psycho, first of all. Tommy Wiseau was the director, writer, and main lead of The Room. There is almost zero information from credible sources about his actual past. His birth date, place of origin, and main cause for wealth is completely unknown. Many claim that it's due to money laundering and that The Room is just a laundering scheme. But for now, that's just a theory. A room! We know he was arrested during a drug raid and claims to have a degree in psychology.
If he has a degree in psychology, then I have a degree in psychology. According to Tommy himself, he grew up in New Orleans, but it comes from the land of baguettes. Whatever the case might be, he eventually moved to San Francisco, which led to the creation of The Room, which originally started off as a play, but soon transitioned into a 540-page novel. However, Tommy decided to take his passion project and turned it into a feature-length film to be independently produced and funded. The process of finding actors for the film was interesting, to say the least. Tommy chose actors solely based off headshots, which is an interesting way to hire talent. Many of the actors never had previous experience, and Greg Sestero, the actor of Mark, one of the major characters, only decided to sign up on the film as a personal favor to Tommy Wiseau. Wiseau would spend over $6 million making the film, and decided to record it in 35mm film and HD, which is a terrible decision. 35mm film is physical film, while HD is shot in digital. But when the film released, they only used the 35mm footage, meaning that they wasted a ton of money recording in HD for no reason. Another reason for the insane budget is the fact that Tommy would constantly fire and replace actors, and constantly reshoot scenes. In one of the most infamous scenes,
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
This scene took over 32 shots to complete, and
I think it sucks.
Over 400 employees were hired to help production, and numerous sets were used for scenes that didn't even need built sets, including older rooftop scenes which were filmed on a green screen set for no reason other than, I don't know, Tommy Wiseau being lazy. All this led to an inflated budget of $6 million, which may not be a lot for the, average Hollywood blockbuster, but is an insane amount for a very low-budget independent drama film like The Room.
How did you make your first $6 million?
Drug dealing.
Me too!
The original script of the movie was heavily edited during pre-production and filming, as according to the Disaster Artist book, written by Greg Sestero, it was almost entirely incomprehensible. And have you seen some of the dialogue that made it into this movie?
It's about as good as your YouTube career.
I'm gonna sue you again, you dumb money! The script contained long monologues, which were so bad that almost none of them were kept in the release of the film. Tommy Wiseau also wanted the actors to stick to the original terrible script, but many of them had to ad-lib or change the dialogue to make it hopefully slightly better for their sanity. Looking at the dialogue, many of it is, well, terrible, but also extremely repetitive and not in the motif or running joke type of way. No, it's just ass. Lisa constantly tells Johnny that she doesn't want to talk about it, and almost every character stops the conversation with, oh hi, and then the character's name. Greg Sestero claims another feature removed from the script was a subplot where Johnny would apparently turn into a vampire and fly his Mercedes-Benz across the San Francisco skyline in order to save Danny from a drug mugging.
And people call the script garbage. It's actually ass. Like Donkey from Shrek. He's an ass. He's funny. Donkey ass. I can't even imagine what this plotline would have looked like, but honestly, I'm sad that it was never filmed. With casting finished and the script finalized, filming began. Filming lasted around 4 months and was mainly filmed on a soundstage in Los Angeles, and a second unit shooting in San Francisco. Script supervisor Sandy Sinclair served as basically a second director and tried to save the movie as hard as he could, but honestly, the movie was beyond saving. It would have taken Jesus returning to Earth to save this film. Due to Tommy's complete failure at being an actor, he forgot his lines constantly and had to reshoot his scenes almost non-stop. The music was provided by Mladen Miljevic, who is a professor at Loyola Marymount University, and it sounds like a blend of smooth jazz and R&B. The highest praise I can give it is that it's probably the best part of the movie. With filming wrapped and editing finished, all that was left was to release Tommy Wiseau's magnum opus, The Room. He initially tried getting a publishing deal with Paramount Pictures. Now, it usually takes 2 weeks to get a response from Paramount about whether or not they would want to publish the movie, but they rejected it after 24 hours. I can't believe they didn't see the quality in The Room. Yeah, I can't believe it either.
With no publishing deal, Tommy took the self-release approach and purchased a single billboard. This billboard was dubbed the Evil Man, and would have been a sight to see. The reason why it's called the Evil Man is because it was pretty much just a really weird photo of Tommy Wiseau staring into your soul. It made it look like a horror movie. It's pretty bad marketing. Another little funny note is that even though the movie flopped on initial release, the billboard was up for over 5 years, as Tommy Wiseau never bothered to stop paying for rent. The Room would premiere on June 27, 2003 at the Lamwell, Fairfax, and Fallbrook theaters, where free copies of the soundtrack were given out at the premiere to any ticket buyers. What the ticket buyers didn't know is that the movie they were about to watch was going to be one of the worst pieces of horse manure they have ever seen. The Room was universally panned for its god-awful acting, terrible, boring cinematography, embarrassing script, barfable production values, and complete tonal whiplash in plot contrivances. It currently has a 9 out of 100 on Metacritic, which is pretty bad. But what do we think of it?
I think it sucks.
Yeah, The Room is horrible, but it's a film that transcended the word bad. If you were trying to act as bad as possible, you would still deliver a better performance than Tommy Wiseau because you were putting on some effort. A newborn baby could probably write a better script than this movie because, my god, is the dialogue bad.
I used to know a girl. She had a dozen guys. One of them found out about it, beat her up so bad she ended up in a hospital on Guerrero Street.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah, you can say that again.
What a story, Mark.
Yeah, you can say that again.
But most of all, in a film that's only 90 minutes long, around half the scenes are pointless. There's the scene where Danny gets threatened by a drug dealer, and it is completely pointless, has no context behind it, and it somehow contains the best acting in the whole movie. They play football over 3 times, and you know what? I'ma just let the clip speak for itself.
Here we go, Mark. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah. Catch, Mark. Mark, go. Go deep. Gee, Peter, you're clumsy.
The movie is terrible, but it's a terrible you must experience. It is probably the funniest movie I have ever viewed, and is a must-watch with friends. Now, how did such a terrible movie become so infamous?
As the years went by, more and more attention came to the movie. Near the end of its 2-week theatrical release, 5 Second Film's Michael Rousselet found the film oddly hilarious, who spread the word to friends and family, which led to the final screening having over 100 attendees. Traditions were created here, including the spoon tradition, where people would throw spoons when one of the 200 million spoon paintings appear on screen. Tommy Wiseau would keep booking these midnight screenings after tons of fan messages, and as these screenings continued, they got more and more popular. Wiseau and Sestero would show up to these screenings and do Q&As and interact with fans, which I actually think is really nice and cool to see both Wiseau and Sestero interacting with fans. The film had many celebrity fans after the Disaster Artist book was published, and a movie adaptation was to be made. Soon in 2017, the Disaster Artist movie was released, a comedy biographical drama film starring James Franco as Tommy Wiseau, and Dave Franco as Greg Sestero, as well as Seth Rogen and Sandy Sinclair. Unlike The Room, The Disaster Artist was actually a good film, with great comedy and acting from the cast, so good job! After years of midnight screenings, The Room was actually turning a profit, and Tommy Wiseau into a celebrity. Since The Room, Tommy Wiseau has been pretty quiet, showing up to interact with fans, but not much else. In 2018, he starred in Best Friends, a dark comedy thriller film with Greg Sestero. Best Friends is an odd movie, but it's not very good. but is leagues better than anything in The Room. Nowadays, he has been working on another masterpiece, Big Shark, which has only one trailer, but it supposedly premiered in April, but is not going to be available for streaming on any service. I don't even know if this is real. It's supposed to be starring him and Greg Sestero, so that's pretty cool.
To conclude, The Room is a terrible movie, but it's had so much influence on film culture, they had to make a Hollywood autobiography out of it.
It's a movie so bad it's good, a term that's been created mainly because of this movie.
Well, most people seek the movies that push the boundaries in quality. You know, the Citizen Kanes, the Godfathers. Some seek a different kind of boundary-pushing movie. A movie that pushes the boundaries of lack of quality.
Well, The Room is a god-awful movie. It's a movie that's provided many with laughter and joy at how terrible it was. It's truly deserving of its place as Hollywood's ultimate, so bad it's good movie.
Fit up, fit up. Okay.